It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Hey.
Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. Happy Marvelous Monday to you. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
Good morning, Bahamas, and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. Thank you for being up with us dead early on this marvelous Monday.
And of course, we're looking forward to another great show. Spring especially sprung this past weekend. Apparently, I mean, it sprung forward for me when we lost the hour, but according to the seasons, the official days, it's now, of course, officially spring, and we're springing into some great action today on Bahamas at Sunrise. Mark, how was the weekend for you?
The weekend has been pretty busy. As you know, my wife and I, we're expecting our twins any day now. So it's been a mad rush. I've been preparing the nursery. I've been putting together cribs with no instructions and limited screws. I've been up and down, and all around, but we're definitely excited. And I actually would like to wish my wife a happy 8th anniversary. Today is our anniversary. 8 years of wonderful marriage and a whole lifetime to go. So much more exciting memories to make. Thank you, Paige, for making me the luckiest man on the planet.
Tears, this ain't the best way to start a Monday. I don't know what it is. We got anniversaries and babies all in one day. Well, a very happy anniversary to you and Paige, Mark. Certainly a beautiful family coming from your union, and we're wishing her not just that you would enjoy this day, but of course a very safe delivery for her, and looking forward to those twins coming into the world and all that they will be. So congratulations to both of you as you celebrate 8 years and look forward to the birth of the babies. We send you our energy and positive thoughts, because you're going to need that to get through.
All this energy I've been given to Bahamas, I need y'all to give it back to me because it's about to get rough.
Indeed, we should have had, instead of daylight savings time, like Mark energy savings time. And then you could just like get it all back right now. But no, it's going to be great. And so we just wish you all the best as you look forward to the week. It's certainly going to be a wonderful one and an exciting one for you. Well, today we've got another great show lined up. As I mentioned, we'll talk to the primary school winners in Central Bank's financial literacy video essay competition. Of course, you know that we've been covering that for the past 2 weeks and just meeting some amazing young people at different levels of our education system. And so we're looking forward to that. And Drumeco Archer is also here. He's going to tell us about the B3As and how they're preparing for Carifta.
All right. Definitely looking forward to those two segments. But we're also going to be talking about business incentives in our Economic Pulse segment. And we're going to find out what's happening at the BTVI Northern Campus. But let's check first on weather with Brother Godfrey Birdside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Mark, and good morning, Bahamas, and happy anniversary, Mark. Any weather today? Weak from boundary, just to the south of New Providence, moving towards the southeast. Expected to stall across the Exomas later today. High pressure bills with some windy conditions behind that system. So today, we're looking at partly sunny, breezy, still on the warm side, chance of few lingering showers, high temperature 82. Tonight, partly cloudy, breezy, and mild. Slight chance of few showers in central Bahamas, the low going under 68 degrees Fahrenheit. And some region highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados 84 and 74. In Jamaica, 86 and 73. In Trinidad, 87 and 76. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 85 and 71. Across North America, Atlanta, 72 and 42. In Raleigh, 74 and 44. In Miami, 82-72. Dallas, Texas, 69-56. And Toronto, Canada, 45-34. As you go next 5 days, high pressure builds behind the system, breezy conditions, so it'll be the dominant feature into Friday. Then we have another cool front that should move the area. That'll cause some increasing cloudiness, but for the most part during the week, looking at partly sunny, breezy, and warm through Wednesday. And then the clouds start rolling late Thursday into Friday as that cool front moves into the extreme northwest Bahamas. The temperature daytime will be in the mid-80s. At nighttime, upper 60s to lower 70s. That puts you up in your first look at weather at sunrise. I'm glad to go inside. Back to you, Star.
Thank you so much, Godfrey. The Bahamian economy is an ideal model for digital financial services. If you've been following us for the past 2 weeks, you will know that that has been the theme for the 2021 Get Money Smart Bahamas Financial Literacy Video Essay Competition. And joining us this morning are the primary winners of that competition. We're very happy to have Alyssa Pratt from Kingsway Academy. She placed first in the primary school version of this competition. She's joined today by Dwayne Small Jr. from Temple Christian School, who placed second. Hi, Dwayne. And of course, we've got Jayda Mackey, who placed third from St. Anne's School. Good morning, Jayda.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning to all three of you. Congratulations on placing in this competition and just the excellence that you all displayed. We're so proud to have you with us today, and we're going to learn some more about this. And so, Jayda, I'm going to get started with you. What did this theme, the Bahamian economy is an ideal model for digital financial services, mean to you?
This means to me the Bahamas is ready to become cashless and use online banking.
Okay. And for you, Dwayne, what did it mean for you?
Thanks for having me on today's show, and let me congratulate all the contestants. A job well done. To me, this theme suggests that the Bahamas is ready for the financial services in the Bahamas, and it is trying to move from the traditional cash-based system to a digital one. And I applaud this movement because the Bahamas can be an ideal model for digital financial services, but there are certain factors that must be addressed.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to learning more about those factors as we continue the conversation, but I'll take it over to Alyssa now. And Alyssa, can you let me know, what is the theme, the Bahamian economy is an ideal model for digital financial services mean to you?
Well, to me, this means that because of its unique makeup, the Bahamas would benefit greatly from the use of digital services. I think this would make it much easier to do business in the country.
Okay, well, I think that is incredibly well said. And I think any business person who has you saying it's more strategic to do business that way would agree. And so I'm just so happy that the three of you are interested in this, that you know exactly what this means to you. And of course, you were able to express that in your central bank videos. Did you learn anything new while you were researching this topic, Alyssa?
Yes, ma'am. I learned a lot of things, but I think what really stood out to me was discovering that central bank was the very first bank in the world to issue its very own digital currency called sand dollar. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. And I think we're cutting edge as a nation to be doing that first. And then what about you, Dwayne? Did you learn anything new?
Yes, ma'am. In my essay, I mentioned that there are many people who did not know that the Bahamas had its own digital currency called the sand dollar. Well, I was including myself also. It is during this research that I learned about the sand dollar.
Okay, all right. And for you, Miss Jayda, did you learn anything new or interesting as you were doing the essay?
Yes, I did. I learned of the many different Bahamian platforms used for digital banking, such as Canoe, Sand Dollar, or SunCash.
Okay, yeah, you guys were learning a lot. And, you know, it's so important that even at this age, you guys are understanding the way financial services work and looking toward your own futures and how you're going to use those platforms as you get older. So I'm very happy that you all were able to learn so much. Jayda, how did it feel to place in this competition?
It felt great because I'm so glad all my hard work into the competition has paid off. I'm super proud of myself.
Excellent, excellent. For you, Dwayne, how do you feel about placing second in the competition?
Let me first thank Central Bank for hosting the essay competition. I was looking forward to it, and when I heard I was the second place winner, I was full of excitement.
I can imagine. I can imagine that's a very big deal. There are lots of entrants in this competition. So for you all to finish in the top three is very, very it shows your brilliance and how excellent you are and how great you are at communicating and being a creative. And so yeah, that would be incredibly exciting for me as well, Dwayne. And Alyssa, what about you? How did it feel to come first?
Well, I was like stunned at first because my submission was number 33 to be uploaded. So I wasn't sure if I stood a chance of first place.
Yeah.
But then after I realized I actually placed first, I was really excited and I was proud of myself to have won the competition.
Yeah, I'm sure you would be. Congratulations to you and to your family. I'm sure that you all worked so incredibly hard. Like I said, lots of young people entered that competition so for you all to come out as the top three, you all did incredibly well. Did you face any challenges, Dwayne, when you were making your video?
Yes, ma'am. While creating the video, the greatest challenge I had was during the actual recording of the video. I had a major problem with lighting. I found myself recording over and over again because the lighting was poor. Well, in the end, I simply used video clippings and pictures to compensate for the shortfall.
Yeah, well, it ended up being enough. And I love that you got creative, that you found yourself facing a challenge, but always willing to come back and try again. And so that skill is going to take you very far throughout life, Dwayne. Congratulations to you for persisting beyond the challenge that you faced. What about you, Alyssa? Did you face any challenges when you were making your video?
Well, I decided to shoot my video at the park, and it was quiet at first, but it eventually became very busy, and there was a lot of noise and other distractions in the background, so I had to do a lot of retakes. And also, finding the pictures to match was also what I was saying in the video was also kind of challenging, but it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, that's awesome. And for you, Jayda, did you have any challenges as you were trying to figure out how to put the video together?
Yes, I did. One of my challenges was the time. The time was not sufficient because I had a lot of research and I had to cut the video down again and again and again.
Yeah, Jayda, I can tell you as somebody that writes and does videos that can be the biggest challenge, right? Making sure that you can fit a lot of information into a very short window, but that's because attention spans are so short now. You want to make sure that people get the most critical information as quickly as possible. So I applaud you for being able to do that. That's going to be a great skill set to help you throughout the rest of your life. All right, Alyssa, let's finally ask this. Is digital currency a good idea for the Bahamas? What are your thoughts?
Yes, I think that it's a great idea because it would help our economy to run more smoothly. And digital currency would help our tourism industry. I think it would shorten bank lines and it gives our family islanders better banking solutions.
Okay, yeah, I don't think you could beat that. Very well said. What about you, Jayda? What do you think? You think that digital currency is a good idea for the Bahamas?
Yes, digital currency is a great idea for the Bahamas because some Bahamians may not have cash all the time on them, or tourists, they cannot have cash all the time, so they had to use like Apple Pay or digital currency platforms.
Okay, all right. And Dwayne, I see you nodding along. Do you agree that digital currency is a good idea for the Bahamas?
Personally, I think that digital currency is a good idea for the Bahamas. However, I think there is going to be a big challenge getting Bahamians to accept and adapt to this change. But ready or not, the digital currency is coming. This is the way forward.
Yep, I agree with you. You know, we Bahamians like things our way. We've been doing it the same way for some time. We like it to stay that way, Dwayne. So that can be the biggest challenge. How do we change mindsets, right? But the beautiful thing is that we've got young people like you, and you're in your schools, you're talking to your friends, and you're educating them. This morning, you're educating us on Bahamas at Sunrise. So I'm hopeful that if it is that this is the best thing for the Bahamas, that even though it might take a lot of work, Dwayne, that we can get it done, right? If you all persisted through your challenges with your lighting and your editing and the background noise, then certainly we can persist through the same thing. So I'm grateful that you all came on to share with us. Alyssa, I'm going to ask you the final question here. Do you have any advice at all for any other students competing in the competition next year?
I would say just go for it. Personally, don't be afraid to enter because you can't succeed unless you try. And trust me, you're going to be rewarded for all the hard work and effort.
That's awesome. Beautiful advice. And I think not just for those who want to enter the competition, because adults like me can't do it, but I think that's just good advice for life, right? That we should never be afraid to try, right, Dwayne? That if we try, at least something good can happen, and we learn something in the process, like you and Jayda, and of course, Alyssa. So we are so grateful that you all joined us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise. I'm sure your teachers at Kingsway and TC and St. Anne's are all very proud of you. I am so proud of you and your parents as well. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to go now. You can stay on the screen for 2 more seconds and just let them see your smart, handsome, beautiful faces. But I'm going to tell everyone goodbye that's watching. And so thank you all so much for watching this segment of Bahamas at Sunrise. We've been talking with these brilliant young people about digital currency here in the Bahamas. And we're going to be back with more Bahamas at Sunrise right after this break.
Business leaders as well as consumers to stay connected, working with Canoe, working with other partners, working with the government and My Gateway to help them to connect with customers who want to place orders and want to be able to do things in a digital way.
My Gateway. My Gateway is a groundbreaking portal through which clients can request and pay for government services online. We have 28 services. We expect to increase the number of services to a minimum of 200.
I love that we're helping the government and helping our citizens to be more efficient and to use their time more wisely.
I invite you to sign up for mygateway.gov.bs and let us make government work for you. Join the click.
Welcome back. The Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute has some exciting growth happening at its Freeport campus. Our Suzette Parker is here with that story.
The BTVI Northern Campus in Freeport, Grand Bahama is responsible for Grand Bahama, Bimini, Abaco, and Andros, and offers a wide range of courses.
At the Grand Bahama campus, basically we offer the same programs that we have at our Nassau campus, but we are looking at associate degrees, certificate programs. We also have something called professional development. And what we boast about at the BTVI campuses is that we customize programs. We in the Northern Bahamas, however, we focus on industries. We have like Grand Bahama Shipyard, Freeport Container Port, and so we customize programs to suit their needs. We get calls when they need something done, and so we try to offer it for them. But most of our programs are still what we call hybrid, because we would do the virtual for about the first half of the semester, and then the second half of the semester we'll do something we call boot camp, where they actually come to the campus to get involved with the laboratories and so on and so forth.
The esteemed National Center for Construction Education and Research accreditation is now available at BTVI Freeport.
It's really important that we have those industry-recognized certifications that companies want. And we've talked to many companies who have expressed this interest. I mean, I've had more people come in my office in the last 4 or 5 months than I've had in 6 years, asking for skilled employees. In fact, this week I've already had 2 companies come in telling me we have a desperate need for a dozen skilled carpenters. And by skilled, they mean trained and certified. And so that is happening. Now, those NCCER courses, this is a US-based, globally recognized certification project. It's based out of the US, as I mentioned, but large companies that come into the Bahamas, in many cases, are based in the US, so they're familiar with it. The project, for example, in Eleuthera at the Lighthouse Point is American Bridge is the company doing the construction for Disney. They're basically an NCCER shop, and so that's what they're familiar with. And we need to have our folks ready with that standard, with that license, to be able to go on their job sites. Here in the Bahamas, we now have about 110 or 120 certified trainers, because we wanted the trainers to be Bahamian. We didn't want to bring trainers in from the US. We have approximately 1,000 through NCCER Core, but it's a series of levels, and so you need to kind of work through the levels, and by the time you get to level 4, you're a master craftsman or craftswoman. A lot of women are in the field as well. And in Freeport in particular, we're really proud of the fact that they're again leading the country. So we started a cohort initially in NCCER in Moores Island, and a lot of people thought that was a little strange to start in a small community like that, but we just wanted to see, how would it work. And so it worked extremely well. We had an 80% pass rate, and almost everyone came back to us and said, we're ready to go on to level 1. We want to continue. And so they actually physically came here to Freeport and continued in level 1 plumbing. And almost 80% of them completed as well, and others are in the completion stages. Now, the good news is most of those people are now employed in the field that they want. They also want to move on to level 1 electrical, so you can be dual certified. And that's really where we need to get others in the country too, is the certification at least at level 1 or 2. And then big companies will hire you because you meet the standard that they have.
Special customized training courses can be developed by BTVI for organizations, as in the case of New Life Chapel.
New Life Chapel, that's an organization, a church actually, and they have students also doing what they call 101 courses in the technical field, as well as they do mentoring. And so what we did is we signed an agreement where when those students are at a certain point, they actually come to BTVI to finish off. They would start, for example, Dr. Robertson talked about the NCCR program. They would go through the NCCR program. Some of them are interested in cosmetology, barbering, fashion, and so we try to take them to the next level.
The ICT program that started in Freeport is gaining international attention for its innovation.
The ICT program was initiated here in Freeport. It's a very innovative program. It's essentially a dual enrollment program. It has about 500 students in it currently, but it started with a grade 10 cohort of about 125, 150 students. Those students went on to grade 10, took additional courses, and then grade 11 and 12. So by the time they finished high school, they ended up with a BTVI diploma. Approximately 80% of the courses are industry certified. And in the first graduating group, which finished in June of last year, we had many students go to major U.S. colleges with advanced standing. So they basically could complete a bachelor's degree in a couple of years instead of 4 years. Really impressive program. The students did very well. It continues to grow, a lot of interest across the entire country, and it started in Freeport, so we're really proud of that program. Interestingly, in the last couple of weeks, I've been invited to a conference in Texas to talk about the program, and one of my colleagues who developed the program, Mr. Anthony Rantula, has also been invited to a major U.S. conference about it, so it's gathering some international attention.
Enrollment is up at the Freeport campus.
I think I want to boast as well about our enrollment for the spring semester. It's normally the lowest. This year, the enrollment for our spring semester was just as much as what it is normally for our regular fall semesters. And so that for us is encouragement. It means that people now see how education is important. And of course, NCCR would have added to that as well. The students would have enrolled to do those various programs. But it shows that even though we would have gone through our challenges, individuals are still interested in getting their education, certification, whatever it is they need in order to get things done.
Now is the time to enroll at BTVI Freeport for a number of reasons.
There's going to be a lot of construction activity going on in this region in particular, across the country, but particularly in this region. And so if you want to be a part of that, now's the time to be ready. It's not appropriate to be ready just as the job starts. You want to be ready before. You want to have those skills before. That credential, that NCCER credential, for example, you're listed in a database, and someone can go online, see your number that you are registered as a plumber, electrician, or whatever it is. That stays with you forever. It's a skill that it won't go away. We've actually had people with an MBA come back and start an NCCER certification because they feel it affords them opportunities to be their own boss as a tradesperson. And so people are looking at it from that point of view. So I think the timing is one aspect of it. Secondly, though, it's the fact that these courses are, kind of flexible and modularized. So you can come in and take a course, drop out, go to work for a while, come back, take another course. And not too many academic programs are like that. They force you like into a round hole and a round peg, right? So you have to go at a certain time, September to December, January to April. That's not the way these courses work. Somebody asked me the other day, I just missed the course start. I want to do NCCR. When does one course start again? I said Monday. They pretty much always start on a Monday. New courses are starting almost every Monday. So, and so that's the second part about it. The third part is that certification piece, which is absolutely critical. And also the last piece, which is really important, is these courses are free. The government scholarship program is amazing. And, people need to take advantage of that. That doesn't happen too many places. And so with all those factors in place, the time is right. The product's there. The price point is right. If you have any interest in these programs, now's the time to take a look at them.
When you talk about resilience, I think BTVI Northern Bahamas campus is just that. We try to keep up with what's going on, even though we would have gone through Hurricane Dorian, which sort of almost destroyed BTVI Freeport, but we still try to fight back. We get things back to where they need to go. We have a relationship with our students where it's almost like a one-on-one. Even though we are working with them virtually, we find the time to actually call to see what might be going on and how we can help. And so I think it's resilience as well as that attention that we always give our students at the Grand Bahama Freeport campus. We are online through www.btvi.edu.bs, and the good thing is we have an admissions office on this side as well as there's one at the Nassau campus. So once we know that you are interested in the Northern Bahamas campus, we actually process your application on this side. So you get attention, quick attention.
For Bahamas at Sunrise, this is Suzette Parker.
In the Bahamas, small business is big business. More than 90% of the businesses in the Bahamas are classified as micro, small, or medium-sized enterprises, or MSMEs. The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center was created to serve them. We at the Access Accelerator offer a variety of services to our clients: business advisory services, training and entrepreneurial programming, mentorship and incubation, and advocacy.
We believe in relationship banking. We take pride in getting to know our clients. You have access to knowledgeable, approachable ambassadors and financial coaches so that we can recommend the best product for you. At Fidelity, we care about you. From your financial health to your physical health, we can relate to you because we're just like you. Come and start your relationship banking experience with us today. Visit us online at fidelitygroup.com. Visit any of our branches in Nassau or Grand Bahama, or phone 356-7764 in Nassau, or 352-6676 for Freeport.
Staying with us here on Bahamas at Sunrise. It has been a pleasure being with you so far this morning, and we've got more to come in the second half. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
And I'm Mark Daniels, and we're at the mid-show. Thank you for waking up with us dead early on this marvelous Monday.
And of course, we've been smiling at our schoolboy Mark, who has got the schoolboy haircut. bringing back the waves that we're just swimming in. But yes, it's been a great morning talking to some young people who are just brilliant. The primary school winners of that Central Bank Financial Literacy Essay Competition have done an exceptional job, and so we celebrate them.
Yeah, every time a different group has come on, man, I'm like, what was I doing in primary school? Because I think all I didn't know about was saving up quarters to buy me some salty and, you know, some things from the tuck shop. But they talk about digital financial literacy, and they're so impressive, man. The future definitely looks bright for the Bahamas.
Indeed it does. Indeed it does. Well, speaking of a bright future, we've got a bright second half coming up for you. And so we're really happy that you're going to be staying with us. We're going to be taking a look again at the Kidney Center in Grand Bahama and the work they do. Of course, kidney dialysis is something that many Bahamians actually are managing and dealing with. And so we're going to learn more about that today.
Yes, definitely looking forward to that. And Drumeco Archer is here to talk about the BAAAs and how they're preparing for Carifta. You know, we like to win on the track. We had a good meet this weekend. I think we got the indoor 60 meters hurdle. The Bahamas won. And so congratulations again to the Bahamas team. But looking forward to the Carifta meet. And we're going to hear more about that. But let's talk to Brother Godfrey Birdside again about the weather this week.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Mark, and good morning, Bahamas. In your second look at weather, sunrise, weak from boundary, just south of New Providence, moving southeastward. Expected solar wicks on Mackey Islands and Salvador today. Dissipate probably by late tonight. Tomorrow, high pressure will build behind the system and generate some breezy conditions through Wednesday. In your marine forecast, we do have a small caution posted for the northwest and central Bahamas. Winds today northeast to east at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet over the northwest and central Bahamas. 15 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 5 feet over the southeastern islands. On Tuesday, those winds will come east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet over all the islands. And on Wednesday, winds southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet over the northwest Bahamas. East to southeast at 15 knots, seas 2 to 5 feet over the central and southeastern islands. Your tides. You can expect a high tide at 10:45 this morning. Your next low tide will be at 4:56 this afternoon. High game tonight at 11:15. Sunset will be at 7:21 this evening. Rising one at 7:11. UV index 8. Your water temperature 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Honeymoon phase, full moon. Your extended look. High pressure comes to dominant feature with some breezy conditions on Wednesday. Next cool front comes on Friday. You can expect some increasing cloudiness late Thursday night over Grand Bahama, Bimini, moving to Providence by early on Friday morning. But for the most part of the week, we're looking at partly sunny, breezy, and warm, with those temperature daytime being in the mid-80s, at nighttime upper 60s to lower 70s. As that puts you off in your fun look at weather sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Star.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Well, you might know that we had a very successful Bahamas Business Outlook in Grand Bahama last week. And as a part of that, we got the opportunity to learn more about things happening on the island of Grand Bahama, including what is happening with the Kidney Center there. Here is that story.
March is National Kidney Month, a time to raise awareness and focus on better kidney care. We stopped in at the Kidney Center in Freeport to learn more about kidney disease.
Chronic kidney disease is the slow progression of loss of kidney function. It is a result of chronic illnesses that affect the kidney, predominantly diabetes and hypertension, left uncontrolled over periods of time. Chronic kidney disease usually happens anywhere over 3 months. You see impact to the kidney, the normal kidney function. Kidney disease is avoidable for a large percentage of people. It does not have to happen. We need to make lifestyle changes. We need to eat well, exercise at least 4 to 5 days a week for 30 to 45 minutes, stop smoking if we're smoking, see your doctor on a regular basis, keep those chronic illnesses like diabetes, like hypertension, keep them in check, monitor, go to your doctor, take medications as ordered, avoid unnecessary medications like those painkillers that we like to take over the counter, avoid them, and just generally live, a healthy lifestyle.
Unfortunately, Bahamians are not well informed about kidney disease.
No, I don't feel that we are well informed, simply because of the numbers of persons that we're seeing right now on what we call on hemodialysis with end-stage renal disease, meaning that they have progressed to kidney failure. Given our population size, right here in Grand Bahama, we have over 120 persons on dialysis, and they will be on dialysis for life. And given the small population size, it is a large ratio.
Kidney disease is now occurring in younger patients.
We're seeing younger and younger persons with kidney disease. How this impacts us is previously, in years gone by, in the 70s, 80s, this was a disease of the old people. It was seen in persons, when we say old people, persons 50, 60. Now we're seeing it in our younger populations because unfortunately we're seeing these chronic illnesses in our younger population. Diabetes, particularly the type 2 diabetes, which is a lifestyle acquired illness, we're seeing that in our teenagers, our 20-year-olds, our 30-year-olds. So with chronic kidney disease, that means that these diseases are left unchecked and these persons will end up, if left uncontrolled, untreated, left unaware, with kidney disease that will impact them, as I said previously, earlier in life.
There is a social worker on staff to help patients navigate their diagnosis and treatment.
Myself and the clinical manager would meet with the patient and the relative, the caregivers, to give you a handbook and give you education. It's a new condition. So this education and this meeting would help you get more familiarized with what's happening to you, and you're able to ask questions. It's helpful because you go into this room for hemodialysis treatment and there is a machine going on and you're going to hear different terms like dry weight and potassium. So we talk to you, we give you education and counseling. We tell you about the importance of family support and all these kinds of good stuff. As a resource to help persons living with kidney disease, we have referral agencies that help defray the costs. National health insurance, the patient would get a primary care physician, and that could be in the private. Most often it's in the private sector, and that's helpful. It's free of charge, but you have to register first. Registering for national prescription drug plan, because medication is very expensive. You have to register, and that would help defray the cost of your medicine at the public or the private sector. Another resource for the patient that has come along recently in Freeport, we have networked with the local dentists who would also see our patients, and with oral health is very important. Eye clinic appointments and stuff, I assist with that. You name it. We have resources like psychiatry, psychology, and of course, your renal social worker and your hospital social worker. We all work together for the patients.
Of course, there are many exciting activities planned for Kidney Month.
Kidney Month activities this year, we're going to kick off with T-shirt Fridays. So every Friday we wear our kidney T-shirts. This year the color is blue. It's under the theme Kidney Health for All, bridging the knowledge gap. It takes us from primary care to us, tertiary care, bringing awareness to kidney disease, how to prevent it, and when you do have it, the impact that it has on the patients and the families and their lives. We also have in-center activities that would mean the patients have an activity going on where they have a checklist of things that they would have to do to win the different prizes, first, second, and third. In those baskets, we have like Fitbits, we have blood pressure monitors, we have gas vouchers, food vouchers, but then they would have to meet the requirements. Are they meeting their targets, their monthly targets? Did they do an annual physical? Did they see the dentist, the eye doctor? We try to make it highly competitive, and make the prizes really good. We also have a virtual symposium. It's going to be on March 20th, and it's going to be live streamed on all of our virtual platforms. That would be Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. And again, we're gonna have our primary care doctors and then us, our kidney team, speaking to you about kidney disease, bringing awareness, how to prevent it, what to do when you have kidney disease. And also we're gonna have like a social worker, a transplant team, somebody talking to us about like your different options when you have kidney disease. We also have a kidney open house in Nassau on March the 26th. And it's basically you come in and you meet us and you interact with us and see exactly what we do in the unit, like the dialysis machines. You meet the personnel, the doctors, the technicians, the nurses, and the staff.
Dr. Cummings encourages patients to stay connected with them.
We are always here. You can get in contact with your primary care provider. You can get in contact with us, your kidney doctors. Feel free, we're always here, always willing to talk. You know, we're not shy. You can meet us here at the Kidney Center. We're on number 3 West Mall Drive. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're online. Feel free, contact us, we're here.
Reporting for Bahamas at Sunrise, I'm Kari Albury.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, as you all know, we held a very successful Grand Bahama Business Outlook last week, and one of the panels discussed growing the industrial sector, removing barriers, restoring incentives, refurbishing infrastructure. So we're going to discuss this idea with Karlos Mackey. He, of course, is the Executive Director and the President of MoneyMax and President of Prime Financing. Karlos, good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Morning, Star. Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure to have you with us. I think we, especially here on the set, and then of course those in the country, worldwide, we are always so much better when you share your wisdom with us. It gives us a lot to think about and to consider. And so we're happy to have you with us this morning. As we get back to talking about business in general, what are some conditions that make a destination a good place to do business?
Well, I think when you talk about doing business, some of the things that are very important, first and foremost, are obviously infrastructure. You also need to make sure that there is what you would call a stable legal system and limited red tape. But I would actually say the most important thing about doing business is actually having a healthy and educated workforce. So I think for us, when we think about how we want to improve our business environment, those for me would be the top 3 things that we need to focus on. Having a healthy and educated workforce, having what we would call a strong and just legal system with limited red tape, and obviously making sure that insofar as it is reasonable and feasible, putting in place the right kinds of technical infrastructure.
Okay, all very well said, all critically important, wanting to make sure that people have access, right? That's the thing, to make sure that they can get it done, that they can get it done effectively. And then of course, making sure that given that this is the technology age, an age where you know, my son who's 1 comes out swiping at my my TV screen and not understanding why it doesn't move, right? That's who they are, that we ought to be moving with technology as well. So what are some of the concessions you think that can help spur business growth? And I think about us coming out of Grand Bahama, knowing the circumstances there on that island, and then just across the archipelago, what are some concessions that can help to spur business growth?
I think we need to think about concessions in a different way than we have previously. I think Grand Bahama is actually, unfortunately, a serious example of having all of the concessions that you can have, but without vision, people will still perish, right? So I think one of the big things that we're going to have to figure out is on each of these islands, what is it that we want the island to be? I think people are attracted first and foremost to what you would call a compelling vision, and then having what I would call, again, those base elements in place, right? Having the right kind of workforce, having the right kind of legal and regulatory structure, and having the right infrastructure. The concessions in my mind really and truly should be geared towards what it is we want to do on any specific island. So I don't think that there's going to be a one size fits all, but I do think when you talk about concessions, we need to remember first and foremost, it's not really about the concession, it's more about the vision. So let's figure out what we want to do in each of these islands, because all of them have a unique character. The people of each island or each group of islands has a different set of aspirations, and they don't necessarily have to be the same aspirations that we in New Providence or Grand Bahama have. So I do think we need to think first and foremost, where is it that we want to go, or what is it that these communities want to see happen for them before we start to talk about concessions, because trying to paint with a very broad brush will potentially lead us down a road of folly.
That's so important, Carlos. And I think that's where I guess we're growing. So I'd say that we're growing rather than that we're forgetting. But that's where we need to remember that it's an archipelagic nation, and that
Absolutely.
what works for one doesn't work for all because
Absolutely.
of the base of communities and what forms them. And so that's very brilliantly said. Are there some deal breakers? Are there anything that creates what's called a toxic or difficult environment for businesses to thrive, to grow, to keep expanding and scaling up?
So I would say that one of the big things is always a lack of stability. In any form or fashion, instability does not help, right? People make different arguments around why, for instance, the second Atlantis was built in Dubai and not in Freeport or somewhere else in the Bahamas. And we can make all kinds of arguments. We don't know what the brain trust of the entity was at that time. But one of the things I can tell you is, if you have the right kind of stability in terms of the vision, in terms of the quality of the workforce, in terms of your legal and regulatory structure, in terms of where people see you're going with your technology and other infrastructure, I think it's extremely easy to get people to buy in terms of long-term and in terms of multiple projects. But what I think we see happening because of the instability in us charting a course and having a compelling vision, what you see is you have a lot of one-hit wonders. So somebody will come in, they have a lot of capital, they get a project done, they make their money back and they're gone. Similarly with Bahamians, we have Bahamians who get into one particular industry, they make a lot of money, but they don't want to take risk anywhere else. Because again, we don't have the kind of stability around where we're going as a people and as a country that we need to have. So I think for me, the biggest thing that would shy away investors, and I believe has shied away investors, has been the lack of stability in a lot of areas as we continue to grow our nation.
Like Carlos said, that I think gives people a lot of food for thought. Certainly, lots of Grand Bahamians in particular I'm thinking about, but many of the other islands have been calling it for years as well and just asking, why doesn't this development happen here? But I think you've given a very good reason for that, and that is, how do we get investor confidence to be at an all-time high, but making sure that the systems that support investors are consistent, that it matches the vision. So very well said. Carlos, we do have to go. We never have enough time. But before we do, we often hear many Bahamians complain that there's one set of concessions for foreigners, and then there's another lifestyle for Bahamians. Is there equity in our system for Bahamian business persons?
I think that there's equity, but I do think that there's not as much what I would call information symmetry. So I think that there's a great deal of information in terms of it being organized and codified in order to really compel or to attract investors. What we don't find is the same level of effort being put into making sure that that information is available for Bahamians, because there are a lot of concessions available to Bahamians. It's just that a lot of Bahamians don't know. So you have a situation where there's a lot of information asymmetry between what's available for investors who are foreign and what's available for domestic investors and entrepreneurs. With regard to Grand Bahama, I actually was there last week. I want people to understand this. We have to think about Grand Bahama in a different kind of way. I know your family has roots in Grand Bahama, and one of the things I've always said is, let's look at what could be sustainable. And we talked about infrastructure, we talked about workforce. And one of the things that would be interesting for me is, why not remove University of the Bahamas from New Providence, which is a very congested place, and put it in Grand Bahama? If you want to have sustainable growth, and we can talk about this in a different segment, but for me, put the university there. You're going to give Grand Bahama essentially a source of young, educated persons. There's going to be vibrancy there, because all of that real estate that right now is in decay, you're going to have an actual natural reason
to bring all of that back up to standard. And you're going to have a lot of in-country tourism. So you have sustainability in Grand Bahama before any foreign investors even come around. So again, we have to think creatively around making places attractive. Nassau is going to be what it is regardless, but let's be different, let's be creative in trying to get some things happening in our islands. And if the Grand Bahamian business community and local community wants to have an expanded UB campus, I think we need to think very hard about relocating as one way to make that economy a sustainable one, but also one that's attractive to investors.
Right. Well, Karlos, you have always been a visionary, and I can't say that I disagree. I think that that is a conversation that we need to have more time for. So we thank you for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise. You always, as I said, give us something to think about. And I think that conversation on UB is a very good place for our minds to go on this Monday. But thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much, Star. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure to have you with us. We've been talking with Karlos Mackey. He's, of course, Executive Director and President at Money Max and President of Prime Financing. And you're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Since 1967, Freeport Oil Company Limited has been dedicated to fueling growth and prosperity in the Bahamas. We have been a constant pillar within the country, striving to invest and support our community through the best of times and the worst of times. For us, Full Call represents 21 years of strength and consistency, consistent leadership, consistent growth, consistent customer service. Through it all, we are resilient. Full Call, fueling growth for people.
With more than 20 berths and 57 hectares of stacking area, just 55 miles away from the U.S., Freeport Container Port is the transshipment hub of the Americas.
Annually, Freeport Harbor's cruise facility handles about 475,000 passengers on a low year to a high of 900,000 passengers.
Prime retail rental spaces are now available at Freeport Harbor with round-the-clock security and surveillance.
Welcome back. After an exciting weekend of track action at the World Indoor Athletic Championships, watching Shawnee Miller-Weebo, mash up the 400 meter, and also getting a silver medal in the 60 meter hurdles, we're here talking with the Bahamas Association of Athletics Associations, BAAA. Sorry, there's a lot of A's there. And we're talking about the final Carifta trials. It's going to be happening over the weekend, April 1st and 2nd. Here to tell us more is President Drumeco. Good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you, Mark, and congratulations once again. And we hope safe delivery of your beautiful twins.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So tell us, how are the athletes looking after a 2-year Carifta hiatus?
We've always tried to keep the momentum of training up. And we're pleased to say that, there's been very little disruption in our program. But there are always ebbs and flows in the Carifta program and our junior program. We have some weaknesses in the program, but we're very optimistic that we will perform at the highest level at Carifta. I'm pleased to say that, over the weekend, Keyshawn Strawn, our very own, has heaved the javelin to a place where he is now ranked first in the world. Wow. And so I believe that he has an opportunity to shatter the Carifta record and to do some amazing things for the Bahamas at a very elite level.
That's amazing. We keep hearing all these wonderful stories about our athletes who are making their presence felt on the world stage, making the Bahamas proud. So tell us about the sprinters that are getting ready for Carifta. Who are the sprinters looking to qualify?
Oh boy, we have a legion of them, eh? We have an amazing standout. Chatalia Dorset out of Grand Bahama and Hanchel out of Grand Bahama, who performed amazingly well. I think that, when you look at the history of sprinting in the Bahamas, she certainly would be considered one of the up-and-coming athletes of the day. And I'm always so excited when I watch Paige Archer compete. She's a competitor and she represents Queen's College very well, but she also represents the country very well. We have an up-and-coming young man whose name is Andrew Brown. He's sensational. And just if you look at his physicality, he's just amazing. And then, at the senior level, we have the staples of Carlos Brown, and we have a new and upcoming sprinter whose name is Zion Campbell out of Grand Bahama. And we have Anton Andrews. Anton, in the opening round, in the opening of the season, ran 10.3 seconds legal wind. And so if you had to put him on the line early in the season, he certainly could have been a gold medalist at the Carifta Games.
Yeah.
So we're nursing some minor setbacks and some minor injuries, but I'm hopeful that we will produce a star-studded sprint team.
Definitely sounds star-studded there. Looking forward to the team and them bringing back some hardware for us. So we talked about sprinting. What are the other disciplines that our team will compete in?
Well, the Bahamas has lagged behind in the throwing disciplines. And I can tell you that we will be probably more competitive on the field than we will be on the track. Led by Corentin Maycock, who's turned our throwing disciplines around. I'm so pleased to be able to say that, over the past maybe 6 to 8 years, you've seen a real difference in our throwing program. And so we're looking forward to seeing the likes of Keyshawn Strawn, as I mentioned before, Kalia Jackson, who is a beast. And, so many others who are really going to show the Bahamas that we're more than just a sprinting dynasty, but we can also be a throwing dynasty as well.
That's fantastic. My sons, one of the things they love to watch in track and field meets are the jumping events, and they go outside and they practice afterwards. I told my son, maybe you can be a long jumper one day. So what's the state of the jumpers in the country?
This is one of the low points, I would say, in our program this time around, and perhaps the first time in our history that we have not been able to field some of the stronger jumpers. From Stephen Ray to Sean Miller, we've always dominated the jumping, the high jumps, and of course the horizontal jumps would be no different. This time around, we're now building a new program where we're looking for new talent. But I can tell you that over the weekend, I was able to observe a number of athletes, and we see so much rich talent in the Bahamas that's just not been discovered as yet. I'm also pleased, though, that at the University of the Miami meet, D'Angelo Collie just qualified in the long jump. And Great. So, we're growing a jumping program again that rivals the region. And, our standards are quite high. The Carifta standards would be 4th place average over 3 Carifta games. And so when we identify a team that's almost guaranteed to be in the top 8 and to medal at those games. And so I know that there's been a tug of war with respect to softening the standards, but I believe that the country have seen how well we've done by adhering to the standards and pushing the athletes to its limits.
I love that. Push them to excel. And, you aim, what they say, aim for the stars and you'll hit the moon. But definitely, iron sharpens iron. So before we head out, so tell us, when are the Carifta Games and, who we should be looking out for?
Okay, so the Carifta Games will be April 1 and 2. We will be naming the team on the 3rd, which is that Sunday, ratification day. That's always the big and nail-biting day. But as the coaches would say, qualify and you make the team. Yes. We're looking forward to seeing some amazing talent throughout the country. And of course, the Bahamas is so rich in diversity when we come to different disciplines within track and field that I'm looking forward to seeing Keyshawn throw out of the stadium once again. I'm looking forward to seeing the young lady Hancho out of Grand Bahama. I'm looking forward to seeing Shatalia Dorset and Nia Richards run head-to-head in the 100 meters and the 200 meters. I'm looking forward to seeing Nia Wright run in the 400 meters. And, Shatalia will come back in the 400 meters again, and Carlos Brown and Zion Campbell, as I've mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. And so there are people who've not qualified as yet, who I'm expecting to qualify. And this is just an amazing time for all of us.
Definitely agree. Exciting times. Those names, we might be hearing them for the first time now, but we look forward to hearing them for many years to come in the future as they keep the Bahamas on the map in terms of athletics. President of the BAAA, Drumeco Archer, I'd like to thank you again for coming on Bahamas at Sunrise, getting our team ready for Carifta.
And Mark, let me just, before we close, I just want to congratulate all of the athletes who were in Serbia, Belgrade, Serbia, who performed masterfully well for the country. I think history has always been incredibly good for the Bahamas, and Shawnee Miller continues to carry the flag. But I'm particularly pleased also to see others coming up. Devon Charlton, in 2019, Devon placed 8th in the finals of those games. Today, she is the silver medalist. Perfect. And so it speaks to the strength of our program, and the Bahamas is 2-4-2 strong.
Yes.
So congratulations.
Definitely. Congratulations to those two athletes and to all our athletes. Thank you again, Mr. Archer, for being on Bahamas at Sunrise.
I'm always welcome. I'm always pleased to be here. Thank you.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Thank you so much for staying with us today on Bahamas at Sunrise. We hope that you enjoyed the show as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you, and we'll be back with more on Friday.
Thank you so much for joining us dead early on Bahamas at Sunrise. Enjoy your week. See ya.